All right, 3, 2, 1. Brian Foderaro.
Yes.
Do people stumble over that normally?
All the time. All the time.
Probably get used to it, much like this social media thing we're talking about.
It's a hard one to pronounce, but I just kind of roll with it, just like the social media. You just gotta accept it and go.
Life is about tumbling down hills, I guess, and trying to find your fucking footsteps somewhere. It's
Absolutely.
a lot of failing and succeeding. Anyways, Brian is the tattoo artist. You own DistINKtion Tattoos, which is a new shop. You just moved recently. Tell us about that.
Well, I've been tattooing. Excuse me. I've been tattooing for about 12 years. Worked for many different shops throughout my career, and just decided that I finally needed to step out on my own and do it for myself. Just try to build a brand, build a reputation, build something that's going to be long lasting, something that people remember, and a name that when you say it, you know what it is.
And yeah, and on top of that, it's your own thing now. It's your own establishment. It's you taking the chances. So anything to gain or anything to fail is on you, which is a big step. But if you want to be successful, those are the kind of things you have to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been a fear. I mean, no one wants to fail at anything that they do, and that was my biggest fear in trying to open up my own business was failure. But I mean, the only way you're going to know whether you succeed or not is to step out of your box and do it.
God, I hope somebody fucking listens to that, because it seems like that's really cool, man. It's interesting how life works, because here in what I'm doing is the beginning of something, and although you have tons of experience, you have a ridiculous following, you have a lot of people that know you. This, where you're at right now, this is a new step, a new endeavor. This is a chance that you're taking. Yes,
yeah, very scary. I mean, it's not all bells and whistles. It's been a hard, long road so far, and
Well, give us some background information on tattooing for you, or being an artist, or how this all started. So people know your background a little bit.
Oh man, well, I guess typical kid, always into art. I always appreciated it. I'd rather do that than schoolwork.
Like, were you drawing, painting?
Yeah,
all of the above.
Mostly drawing. Mostly drawing when I was younger. Drawing in books, notebooks, class books. Just wherever I could put my pencil down and do a doodle or sketch. That's where I was trying to be. And over the years, as I got a little bit older and started recognizing tattooing, I started really. It just really caught me, and from probably I'd say about 13, I knew what I wanted to do, and just
when did you do your first tattoo or experiment with a tattoo? Now hold on, before you even answer that, how the fuck do you get into trying to tattoo? That's like a one and done kind of thing, right?
Well,
is there prosthetic limbs that you can use or something?
There is now.
Oh, jeez.
Back in my day, it was just kind of find a friend that
was just down. He drank enough beers that you could draw a dick on his arm or something.
Smoke enough weed, one of the two.
There you go. Yeah, there you
go. It just it just happens. I mean, you're young and you have young friends. They don't care. Young, rebellious. We were all there. And especially as teenagers, it was, the thing. We all want to be rebellious. You're
not looking towards the future.
Not at all, So, I mean, as, you see all people that have, those old crappy tattoos, probably from when they were, 14, 15 years old, that just kind of relocated on their bodies because they grew out of it. But, yeah, it was just, just kind of one of those things that we built a homemade machine and, did it in the living room. And as I got older and I look back on it now, I realized that how bad that was. It wasn't a very good decision to do that, but like you said, we all got to start somewhere.
It's kind of strange because I mean, since you've been doing this for so long, there's a weird shift in dynamic of it was really kind of taboo 10 years ago to be, not even be covered in tattoos, just to have tattoos that were visible and to be shown. And now it's weird because in some aspects of society, some things are degressing and some things are progressing. And it's like we have shit like, I'm not trying to single out women, but like this whole radical feminist bullshit that's going on, putting fucking, they get drunk and smash a dude and then they want to put him in jail because they regret it. You're just a whore. And then there's other things like tattoos where, like when I was a kid, my older brother, when he came out with a tattoo, my dad beat the shit out of him.
Yes.
And that's another thing. You can't fucking discipline kids anymore, but let's not talk, it's like,
no, you can't.
It's weird. It's a shift now, it was because, if you had tattoos back in the day, it's like, you're not going to get a job, you're not going to be anything in society. And now it's gotten so big and it's gotten so respected that it doesn't really matter so much anymore if you're covered in tattoos.
Oh man, it doesn't. I can honestly say, like, I know a lot of tattoo artists, and I can almost say with confidence that I feel like I know more people that don't tattoo, that have tattoos on their face or on their head, than people who do tattoo. It's
what
weird.
do you say to somebody
weird.
when that walks into here and they're like, I want to get a tattoo on my face? Do you try to talk them out of it, or are you just like, whatever you want, man?
I mean, of course I try to talk them out of it because I'm responsible.
Right.
Not just as a person, but for what I do, I'm responsible for what I do. As a professional, as, a business owner, even just as a tattooer, I'm responsible for whatever it is that I'm doing. So that tattoo, I'm responsible for. The location of that tattoo, I'm responsible for. So if someone comes in and gets a tattoo and that tattoo ends up inhibiting them from being able to progress or get a job and move forward, then, yeah, I mean, I kind of feel bad because I kind of put that on him. I mean, I did physically put it on him, but I kind of put it on him to help him not get a job and move forward,
Yeah, but
so
it wasn't
for sure.
really your choice. You're just kind of the dude that is capable of putting his vision on his body,
Right, but I also have to be the smarter one and, be the decision maker on whether or not that's a smart decision to make, because people make a lot of dumb decisions, and there are a lot of tattoos out there that people regret getting,
I would say that the percentages are probably higher that people regret tattoos than not.
I'm sure
or pretty even, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I have tattoos I regret, but
yeah.
There were choices that I made, so I've learned to live with my decisions, and I don't feel that all tattoos are bad. I feel like a tattoo is good for people that have a tough time committing to anything, because that's a commitment. It's going to teach you to live with your decisions, whether it was a good decision or a bad decision.
That's interesting. I never thought about like the philosophy in it like that. I mean, that's kind of like in some way kind of like a mental strength thing, right? Like you made a choice, you got to live with it.
Sure.
I never thought about it like that.
With anything you do, but this is just a reminder that no matter whether it was a good decision or a bad decision, you can continue to move on, and hopefully you use that as a reminder to not make as many bad decisions in the future.
That's the glass half full perspective right
there.
Sure,
absolutely.
That's the best thing you can say to someone who is distraught over something that's on their body, you know what I mean?
Got to find the silver lining.
There you go, man. That's very positive.
Yeah.
Seems like, that's probably a good way to look at it. A lot of people, I'm assuming it's probably difficult to cover tattoos or incorporate them into a new tattoo, right? What is the vision on that? Do you have to have some kind of like foresight to be able to kind of blend it in and blend it together? That's got to be something that's annoying.
You definitely have to have some skill. I mean, there's nothing worse.
That's like experience kind of thing, right?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than seeing a tattoo that was covered up where
just blotchy and fucking.
Where you could still see the old tattoo.
Yeah.
Or where half of the old tattoo is hanging out of the new tattoo. No one even tried to cover up that part of the old tattoo. Like there's some ugly cover-ups out there. So I mean, it's something that definitely takes some skill and some know-how on how to work with it. But with that being said, tattoos, all of them, whether they're new cover-ups, whatever, reworks, they take time. So they're going to take as long as they need to take to be done correctly.
I don't know why I'm about to ask you this. It's going to be a strange question, but this is part of the reason why I started a podcast, because strange thoughts come to my head. You know how there's like people in the world who like get off to like pain, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like I talked about this in a previous episode. I seen this video on Instagram of a dude that was just sitting on a chair like this with his back against the wall, and there was a chick on a table in front of him, and she was just heel to face, just punting this fucking dude in the face repeatedly. And you could see as his face like morphs, it's more swollen, and he's just more out of it. But this is like a fetishized thing for him.
Yeah.
Have you ever ran into somebody that came into tattoos and they were just like
wanted me to kick him in the face?
They're just like
repeatedly?
Jerk him off, or some chicks like milking from the pain or something? Or some of they probably wouldn't tell you, but I mean, could you feel like some kind of strange energy, like they're enjoying the pain or something?
Yeah, there's definitely.
Woo, those are the freaks, man.
There's definitely some girls that, you know, their owl moans are very similar to their bed moans, I would assume.
Primal shit.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some freaks out there.
Yeah, that's. Well, see, and you're in a good position. I mean, I don't know what your relationship status is, or you're single or whatever, but that's kind of a cool place to be sometimes, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I am single, but you know, it's work. It's work.
It's work.
It's work.
Stop milking on my table, please.
Yeah.
Tell these bitches stop milking.
I mean,
lay some towels down.
Not every customer is a dime, you know.
That's true. It's probably all like the street rats that are milking.
Yeah, they're not all winners, but I mean, no, everybody. Some people do. They get off to it. Some people just enjoy the pain. Some people use it as an escape to not have to
feel something.
to deal with the pain that they feel mentally, you know, or whatever. Yeah,
that's, man. I don't know. I think the only reason I thought about that was because of that fucking Instagram video. That shit's just strange that people are so different, which is so funny because, you know, the kind of things that people want on their body, it closely relates to how different people are too. I mean, I'm sure you get all kinds of it's like an infinite space of possibilities that people want on their body. And and to them it means something. And that's got to feel pretty cool whenever you execute something, you know, that translates in some kind of sight that they wanted it to be, you know? Yeah. Translate some kind of message they wanted to get across.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's always a great feeling when someone tells you that you nailed it. When you took the image that they had in their head and nailed it. I mean, that's always a good feeling. You know what I mean? Because I can't read anybody's mind. Like,
right.
And you can only describe to me in the best of your abilities what you're picturing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I really gotta, you know, not just me, but anybody who does this has really gotta, you know, take that into consideration and just try their best to, you know, match the dots together and come up with an image that was somewhat similar to what they were picturing, you know.
Yeah, well, to piggyback on that, I just thought, what do you think about this whole when you're tattooing other people's art on people's body? You know what I mean? Let's say that somebody wants, let's say somebody draws something up for a person and they bring that into you, and it's someone else's art, you know, it's someone else's site, someone else's artistic, you know, capabilities that they put on a piece of paper, and now you're having to sort of take that image of somebody else's art, and then you're putting your own influence on it and putting it on somebody's body. Is there, I mean, you know, I don't, the only thing I can relate it to is sort of like copywriting and shit like that. I know it doesn't work that way, but I guess on like a more cerebral level, is that ever something that crosses your mind about someone that does some art and you're taking their art and putting it on somebody's body?
Okay. You know, yeah, I would never want to duplicate something completely. You know, use something as a reference for an idea, yes, you know. But, I mean, realistically, I kind of feel like there isn't anything that hasn't already been done. Like, the wow factor, like when it comes to tattoos and the tattoos that have been done, like the wow factor to me is kind of gone because
there's so much exposure,
I've
too.
I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a tattoo I have not seen, you know. And I've probably added to some of those wow tattoos that are out there, like, just wow, like why would anybody do that, you know?
Right.
So I mean, those are out there, so that's going to be what it is. As far as copying, like I don't want to copy anybody's stuff, but you know, use it as a reference, like as a guideline, you know, of elements that people like.
Just add your own touch and your own style.
Yeah, I mean, everything's got to be original. You know,
right?
And like I said, original is kind of far fetched because what hasn't already been done.
Right.
You know, but you definitely got to make it your own. You know, if you want this religious sleeve that, you know, you go on Google and there's like 7 of the exact same tattoo, like not changed one bit, like cool, you like that, use those same elements, but make them your own. Don't just copy and paste, you know, like don't just do the exact same thing. You gotta switch it up, you know, try to make it different, you know.
I wonder if most people that come in to get a tattoo, because I mean, clearly there's people that they, like you said, they find a picture or something, like their dog, whatever, they come in here and want to get their dog tattooed on them, and they want it as closely related to that picture as possible. So I guess what I was just trying to ask was, you know, it's like if you were to cover a song, you know, and there's definitely the law can get involved with that. There's repercussions that can come out of that. But when it comes to the body, it's kind of loose, huh? Like the loose.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, okay, like if I was to do like replicate like a Van Gogh painting on somebody, or like do the entire lyrics to, you know, Shake Your Tail Feather or something like that, you know. No, absolutely. I mean,
can you sue somebody? Like if I wanted to put your face on my chest, could you sue me for doing that? Defamation of character.
I don't think so.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I don't know that either. I just thought about it just now.
I really don't think so. I really don't. Like, I mean, as artists, I know we all get asked to replicate or duplicate images all the time, you know, whether they be portraits or paintings. You know, people love to get, you know, dolly paintings and stuff like that.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people tend to do their own interpretations. You know, like recently I just did an Alex Gray eye, one of the eyes from Alex Gray, and I know, you know, just from following him, like he likes, you know, I don't know if he likes it, but I know he'll post pictures of his work that were done as tattoos, you know.
Oh, so he embraces it.
So that's something that he can appreciate a little bit. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the fact that it's on skin, you know, I mean, someone's paying for it, you know, so, but it's not something that can be sold after that. You know,
right,
I mean,
okay.
Like, once it's done.
So you can't really monetize it. It's just kind of a one and done thing.
Kind of.
I get it.
You know, I mean, like, maybe someone could, like, try to sue me, maybe, for replicating it, because I got paid to replicate it. But, I mean...
You'd just kind of be a dick if you try to do that, right?
Yeah.
Everyone would be like, you're just an asshole,
You know,
man.
like, I'm not sitting here doing 1 million of them to... You know, I'm not trying to make money off your work. I'm making money off my work. They just want your work. Just
add a mustache to it or something. Change it up a little bit.
We'll give it 6 fingers and call it.
There you go. Make it more subtle. A little more, slightly more subtle.
We'll see who notices it.
Right. And we got 6 knuckles. Be some freaks out there. But so when it comes to just strictly talking about your work, is there something that is there a certain style or certain things that you like tattooing more, or are you sort of specialized in certain ways, or you just certain styles kind of catch your eye and you enjoy them doing more?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of appreciate all. I don't want to say all styles, but I appreciate most styles. There's styles I try to stay away from just because I don't understand it and it's not my.
Like, what's an example of something like? Like goth or something?
Well, like watercolor. I really try to stay away from like watercolor.
What does that mean? It's like real faded and.
Yeah, it's like watered down pigments and just kind of like this splattered.
Oh, okay. Looks like somebody watercolored.
Yeah, exactly, like watercolor. So it's
not real bold and fine and
right, and it takes somebody who's not like, I don't want to say in the box, but somebody who like pays attention to like solid. I color in the lines.
Okay.
You know, I'm a color in the lines kind of guy. Not a, like, it's okay to just put anywhere.
Right.
You know, so that's me. Like, that's kind of how I am.
Should make a T-shirt that says that.
I'm
a color in the line kind of guy. That'd be a good T-shirt.
I'm a little bit more structured. You
There
know,
you
some
go.
people are a lot looser.
So is that just like a kind of? So people that do that style, are like real free form and like
a little bit more abstract-y.
this is probably the kind of, you know, probably like chicks, the ones with underarm hair, don't shave their pussy or nothing.
Yeah.
Ones that do too much yoga or something.
Yeah, it's just
They smell like, what's that shit that
patchouli.
Yes, that shit. That's what I was trying to fucking say. And you knew it, of course.
Of course, I'm right there with you.
Smell that shit. Yeah, I'm sure that people that do that kind of style, I'm not generalizing, these are just jokes. I'm just talking shit. But you're just going to smell intense amounts of patchouli oil when you walk into that place.
Yeah.
Incense and patchouli oil.
Yeah.
Maybe some dreads on the floor.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be.
Couple of fallen soldiers. Couple of little braids, little fallen soldiers.
It happens.
So back to there's not like a, you know, anything that intrigues you, anything that you're really like. Some people like doing portraits. Some people like doing, I don't know, fucking landscapes. Or you're just whatever they bring you.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of try to do my own style with it.
Versatile.
I try to be. There, like I said, there's certain things I just try to stay away from. You know, like writing. I try to stay away from writing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a big writing guy.
The palms, fucking 316s.
I've never been able to write my own name and have it look nice.
I have shitty handwriting, so I'd be fucked if I was a tattoo artist.
Right, like, I mean, I could tattoo, you know, some script that you find online, but, like, if I had to sit there and try to do something by hand for you, like, there's
not really too much you can go with it. It's just writing. So you're kind of just doing it. You know?
There's some people that are really, really good at it and can make it look really nice, and I'm just not one of those people. Plus, my spelling's really bad, too. So you might...
Don't fuck up a word, man.
Yeah, you might get a misspelled word.
Oh, that'd be rough, man.
I mean, it's happened.
I have a friend, I have a buddy, Justin, who he got Tennessee tattooed on his back, and he left out like one of the N's or something. One of the letters he did, and I'm talking about across his back. This was no like Tennessee on your chest. This was across his back. You know, it's like Tennessee born, Texas raised, and he fucked up the Tennessee and left the whole letter out.
Yeah.
And I was there. That was like probably one of my only tattoo, you know, actually exposures. I was there with him. You know? I was drinking. I wasn't involved the whole time, but
you weren't spelling.
Yeah. That's the fucked up thing is the dude was, I'm not going to put him on blast, but the dude was drinking too, smoking, drinking. It was like a hang. And he went there to get a tattoo, you know, and, you know, as a hang, we're all hanging out and, you know, you'd start smoking and drinking and then start trying to tattoo. You're not.
Well, you know, okay, I will say that some people shouldn't, you know, partake in
more of the drinking. I would say
people shouldn't. There's some people that shouldn't partake in the party favors while they're working.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that because I know people that excuse me. I know people that drink or smoke and turn out great work.
Right.
You know,
that's kind of a
but
way.
I know people that drink and smoke and turn out shit work too.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's that, you know, I would want to lean more towards it's the writing. You know, unless you're a spelling bee champion, you're going to misspell some things. It's going to happen.
Is this thing not plugged in or what? Or does the switch have to be on?
I have no idea.
It kept on saying low battery on there.
I think I got another.
Okay, that was a minor break. You're not going to know if you listen to this because I'll edit it, but
We just saved the day.
yeah, reality. The reality. What you're listening to is not actual reality. This is all simulation. By the way, that's the name of my podcast, my friend. Simulation Clearly Podcast.
That's awesome because nothing of what I'm saying right now is real.
It's only real if you want it to be real. You're not even Brian. You're probably some hot chick that I wanted to come talk to, and this is the way that you want to present yourself to the world. So this is what I see.
Yes, I'm a hot chick with a deep voice.
Yeah, and a beard, and a wicked beard. I just happen to be into chicks with big beards.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, fetishes. We were just talking about
exactly. Some people like being punted in the face. Some people like women with beards.
Some people like getting tattooed. Yeah.
Have you ever had has anybody ever came and talk to you about tattooing like a private part, like a dick or an asshole or a vagina?
Oh man, I had a guy come to me one time and he needed to get a tattoo done on his
dick.
On his dick.
What's the best way, hard or soft?
I wouldn't know. I didn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that either. That's weird shit.
It was a cover up. He needed his wife's name covered up. He had his wife's name.
You fucking pussy. You should call that guy a pussy just for getting his wife's tattooed on his dick like that. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some guys are just whipped. You know.
I talked to a dude today who I asked him to do the podcast. This is another thing that pisses me off. I don't look as just, and you don't have to make this like a man-woman thing. It doesn't have to be like a sex thing, but just in general as a human being, when it comes to any issue in life, I don't believe like when you get to a certain age as an adult that you should be listening to somebody else telling you how the fuck you're supposed to act, talk, you know, and live your life. So in marriages, like I have friends that, you know, you have to ask, they have to ask if they can go see a friend. Mm-hmm. The wife says no, then it's a no. I understand that.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're single, right?
Well, I'm single now, but I was in a situation like that.
But that's why you're single.
I cut that shit out because of that.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, it's with it goes good for a bit. And then it gets to a point where it's like, I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing this entire time. And now you're telling me that I can't do that because of, you know, I just don't. And it comes to that with the government. Like, why would the government need to be, why should the government tell us what we can put in our bodies? Put us in jail for a plant, you know, shit like that. We should be adults. If you want to fucking smash heroin into yourself and then run into a fucking wall, as long as you don't hit anybody else, then you should be able to do that, right? So when it comes to like,
I agree.
When it comes to like, I'm sure. In fact, I'd be willing to give up a pinky that this guy's wife pushed him into getting that name on his dick. So just for that security, you know. No, it's gotta be that.
You're very right.
This dude didn't go to his wife. He's like, listen, Sarah, I just love you, and I just want every time my dick penetrates you, I just want it to say your name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he had told me the story about how he got it, and he was stationed in Germany, and I guess it was a drunk night, you know, and I guess he decided he wanted to, you know, show his wife how much he really loved her, so he went and did that, and not even, you know, a few months after that, she left him for like his best friend or something like that.
He was in the initial stages of all the passion is raging. He's like, I love you.
Yeah. So like while he's getting this tattoo on his dick, like his best friend's boning his wife, you know. So, because he's in Germany.
That's a great story.
Yeah. You know, so he was living with this awful tattoo of this name on his dick.
What was the name? Did he tell you?
It was Samantha.
Oh, fuck. You can't really turn that into another word.
No.
I was going to say if it was like...
and if he abbreviated it, it'd be weird because it'd be Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, bro. I just loved you, bro.
So, I mean, and he did it. I mean, I got to give him props. I mean, Samantha's a good... Yeah,
what is that, 9 letters? He was 9 letters deep into that.
Yeah. I mean, he's...
If it was just like, you know, like something, you know, fucking Mary or something, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You could turn other words into, like, maybe if you just wanted to turn it into another word or something. But Samantha, you're fucked.
Yeah, no, you can't. I mean, yeah, there's nothing.
So he came to you and was like, man, I just need you to try to cover this up. And you had to say no?
Well, you know, he had property of, like, in the pubic region. And, you know, I went as far as covering the property of.
Oh, okay.
That was it. I wouldn't.
What did you cover it up with?
We did a dragon.
A skull or something?
A
dragon?
Yeah, it was something that he had picked off the wall, I think. It was many, many years ago when Flash was still cool in the tattoo shops.
How painful is it? I mean, I've heard it's painful to get a tattoo removed, but I mean, isn't it like a process? Like you have to do it several times before it's faded enough to where it's gone or something? Or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, laser removal, I don't have a lot of experience in it.
And it's painful?
Yeah, from what I hear, yeah, it's not pleasant. You know, so I could imagine it not feeling good. I'm sure he just decided to live with it.
I just think that, man, you could be the most like awesome dude, and you could be hanging out with a chick and everything's going great, but that first time that you whip it out and Samantha's on the side of it, then unless you're just only looking for chicks named Samantha your whole life.
I mean, you always gotta whip it out in the dark.
Look, I knew I loved you before I met you. Here it is. This is I knew I loved you before I met you.
Yeah.
Samantha. Or Sam, whatever it might be. I just think dude, I'd be so nervous, like, you know, you're like cradling a dude's shit and you're having to stretch out some skin to like, that'd be some weird shit, some awkward shit.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you do? Do you talk to people? Like if you're tattooing, like say if you're tattooing some chick's inner leg, do you talk to them while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Try to kill the awkwardness a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it can't be awkward at that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of up to you.
I'm trying to do a job.
You're like, you're driving, or, you know, driving the ship, cruising the ship, sailing the ship, whatever.
Correct. I mean, it's just like, you know, like just like anybody else, being like a gynecologist, you know, they're just doing their job.
Oh, there's some freak gynecologists out there, though.
I'm sure there are.
Dentists.
But just doing their job, you know, like that's I mean, that's how I look at it. I'm just trying to do my job. So it's not, you know, total professional level. Although my job is not a dick holder, so I will not be.
Yeah. You gotta draw the line at some point.
I'll tattoo a dick on somebody, but I will not be tattooing
that's cool.
Dicks.
Yeah, but I would just I would just imagine that would. I've never gotten a tattoo, but getting a tattoo on your dick, you might have to be a little intoxicated for that, huh? I would not be. And then it goes back to the pain thing. What if the dude fucking busts a load on you while you're just tattooing his dick? He just comes everywhere. That's not good.
Well, then the price is definitely going to go up.
Yeah, because of that. Or he's the one that's getting punted in the face.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get kicked in the face a couple of times after that one. But yeah, no, I mean, you can't do it. You know, somebody else can do it. Someone else, I'm sure, needs the money a little bit more.
Yeah, you don't need. You know, it's kind of a shit job. I wouldn't want to fuck around with that.
No.
So what's the deal with the new studio? Where were you before this?
I was over at Ink Masters Tattoo Studio for about almost 4 years. I was pretty close to my 4-year mark, and then I decided that I needed to leave where I was at. I wasn't happy there anymore. Hadn't been for a real long time, so I just needed to go and. You wanted to do your own thing, or you just weren't like the? I just wasn't happy. Period. You know, just where I was at. The people I worked with were great, but I mean, I just wasn't happy with where I was at. You know, the shop just wasn't what I wanted anymore. So I had left. And went and started working at a private studio here in town called Colorblind Minds, and I was there from the time I left Ink Masters until now. You know, so basically it was just kind of a medium point until I can find a location to open up shop at.
And so you're open, you're ready for business, huh?
Yeah, for the most part. I'm hoping to get my sign up this week, and then good to go. Yeah. I'm done.
Is it nerve-wracking?
A little bit. I mean, I wish I could take a vacation, to tell you the truth. But, you know, I got to get back to work. The bills are coming in. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So you got anybody working with you yet, or?
I do. I do have one guy working with me. You know, I'll get more people in as we go. You know, I'm not trying to rush and just get anybody in here.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's your name on this fucking building.
Exactly. So I definitely want some good quality people in here. So it'll take its time. It'll happen.
That's what they need. Well, at least you got some help. And on top of that, still, like, man, even with this podcast, I'll go home and smoke a little or something, and then I'll be like, I'm fucking talking on a microphone. Like, God damn it, what am I doing? You know? And I'll just sit here and question everything I'm doing, and I'm just like, fuck. But you just have to let the process work its way out, because what I kind of realized is, and I've said this like ad nauseum, and people are probably gonna be like, shut the fuck up already, but like, your mind is not necessarily your friend, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it'll fuck with you. So you can't treat it, and you can't cradle it, and you can't be nice to it. You gotta fucking you gotta discipline the fuck out of it. Mm-hmm. And so I guess just relation to, you know, you starting out this, it's, you know, I get pumped. Like when I came in here and you were the only one here, and I was like, oh fuck, like this might work out today, and you were down to do it, which thank you once again. It's fucking
absolutely.
awesome. But when you were like, yeah, let's do it, that kind of reinforces, you know, my thought process. It kind of builds you up. It's another victory.
Sure,
absolutely.
And
it's, you know, when you know, you let me come in and do the podcast and we're doing it. It's those little victories that I can kind of, you know, turn the volume down, you know, when I'm like waking up in the middle of the night and I'm like, what the fuck did I say? You know, like, what did I say? Like, you know, like on the podcast, or is this even smart to be doing, you know? Because if anything, you just got to enjoy the fact that you're doing it. You know, you can't, we talked about this whenever I first walked in. If you're looking to make, if you're looking to, you know, make a fucking meal ticket and get the fuck out and, you know, move to Costa Rica just because you started something, and you're probably not going to be the one that comes out on top. You know, you got to enjoy the process, enjoy the building it up.
It's got to be a passion.
Exactly. And
passion.
And that's, you know, that's why it's, you know, it helped me to hear these things in podcasts. I'm a fucking podcast nut, dude. I mean, I listened to my first podcast probably like a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And then at first he was kind of just like, oh, these are, you know, it was cool people talking about interesting things, people that were, you know, you could say that were doing, you know, clearly doing more than me. You know, they were known for doing things. And then as time went on, it got down to a point where I'm listening to podcasts that are more local and stuff like that. And then I started analyzing this, and it was strange that, you know, I came to this conclusion, like, dude, I'm just listening to people talk and conversations. You know, like while I'm working, you know, it's really all it is. Yeah. Some people listen to music, you know, when they work. Some people, you know, some people might go home and watch movies or whatever. Most people, but I found myself, I was just like listening and watching podcasts, just people having conversations. And then I was like, dude, if there's a market for these people and I'm interested in what they're saying, and they're not even necessarily, you know, that much farther ahead than I am, you know, there's going to be a market. There's so many people in the world. There's going to be a market for anything that you put the time into and have passion for, you know?
Absolutely. You know, and I think the thing with podcasts is there's a lot of people out there who just like to soak up information, you know, regardless what the information is. I like to soak up information. So I'll watch documentaries all the time and just learn whatever I can, whether it's useful or it could be the most unuseful thing in the world. Right. But it's just dumb information, you know, but it's who knows, it could come in handy or it could just be useless, but it's good to know. You know?
It's I mean, and it's not like this hollow stimulus you're putting in your mind. If you're learning something, or if you find something intriguing or you find something interesting, there's a reason why. There's a reason why those chemicals and those signals are going off, like, oh, watch this, you know, don't turn it off. There's a reason why that, you know, that you're getting that kind of response. So speaking of documentaries, though, have you seen that documentary on Netflix called Bugs?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
Whew, this shit is intense. It's about these two, they're highly educated, very intellectual chefs. They're college educated, and they approach cooking in this more sustainable, functional way. Not so much, let's go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of shit. They want to be able to harvest these ingredients, know where they're from, and they want to seek out alternative ways to feed the planet, because, you know, in another 50 years, there's going to be another billion people in this fucking world. So we're going to run into these issues where feeding the world, it's already an issue, but feeding the world is going to be that much more difficult. And so it's called Bugs because, you know, and they give all this historical reference and information on, as a society, you know, before we've evolved what we are now, more primitive versions of ourselves, species of ourselves, ate predominantly bug diets. Mm-hmm. And so they're trying to research basically all of these different insects that were a part of diets in previous societies, civilizations, and cultures. And they're testing the nutritional values of them. They're experimenting cooking with these bugs and incorporating them in different dishes. And it is so fucking interesting because
Sounds disgusting.
It's disgusting, man. I mean, if you have an issue with, like, because I don't have an issue with bugs, but when it comes to cockroaches, those things are not bugs, man. Those are fucking aliens.
Yeah.
And they've been on this planet for 400 million years, so there's, those are not bugs anymore.
There's
those
no
are
killing them.
Yeah, I will scream like a little girl if I do not fuck with cockroaches. But they take this. It's not even a cockroach. It looks like a cockroach, but it's this beetle, and it's got this huge like hook horn on the end of it, and they take this beetle and they saute it.
Is that the rhino beetle?
No, it may be sort of the same species. I can't remember what the exact name of it was, but it's like a rhino beetle. But this horn is
massive.
It's like 3 times the size of its body. Like when it walks, it can barely pick up its fucking head. It's like, what is the point? Like on an evolutionary basis, what is like the point of the hook? I guess it's like a thing
to pop it into your mouth.
yeah. There you go. Stab, pop, like an elephant trunk, but just
it's like a built-in toothpick.
Finger food. It's finger food. And so I get. Well, the only other thing I thought about was how certain species rely on like certain attributes, like physical attributes, to be more impressive to the opposite sex, like birds with their feathers, colorful feathers, or certain dances, some shit like that. But they saute this fat black fucking beetle and saute it, with some cumin, some other little shit. And I'm telling you, dude, the noise that it makes when they bite into this thing, and it's not just the beetle, the huge larvae. They're like this fatter, they're huge, and they're cooking these things, and they're going to all these countries like Africa and stuff like that. These people, Colombia, there's a huge market for bugs still these days in diets.
Yeah. Like
if you go to Colombia or Africa, some other, not the U.S. clearly, but there's markets for bugs. It's actually like a cultural thing. Like it's something that's still very predominant in their diet. And so it's just interesting that they're taking this stance to kind of approach feeding the world in a really strange kind of taboo way,
Very taboo way.
Because judging from what you said, if you saw some of these like worms and larvae and stuff that they're eating, I've eaten crickets before.
Okay, yeah. Grasshoppers.
Well, and I don't know if you know this, but there's actually a lot of companies now that make like cricket protein.
Yeah, okay.
Which is just like millions and millions and millions of fucking crickets just smashed down, grinded up with some additives in it, and it's healthy. It's healthy for you. It's a healthy, sustainable approach to getting protein.
But they also say shoving a hose up your ass and squirting water in it's healthy for you too.
Right? Coffee enemas. People do that shit too.
Doesn't mean I'm going to do it though.
No. Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's some strange thing that people. Some people might think tattoos are strange, piercings.
You're absolutely
like
right. Absolutely right.
Correct. We're all like the world is so diverse that it's just a cool documentary just to watch. And if anything, useless information. It's
I will definitely check it out because I'm into cool things.
And they're really like the dudes are really smart, and it gives you at the end of the documentary, it's kind of like, man, did he just convince me? Nah, fuck that. I can't eat a worm, dude. It's like you want to.
I hate documentaries like that.
Yeah.
They do such a good job. Like you are believing them 100%. You're like, that's it.
That's what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, I guess that's the point.
That's sort of an art form or art form itself,
Yeah.
Educate somebody in a way where they might be able to, change their stance on something.
Yeah.
It's like, us, we were talking about with social media before you had it and I had it, I looked at it for such a long time, like hating on it, like, this is fucking stupid. I'll just talk to somebody in person or on a phone. But then you understand, like with anything, there's good and bad things that come out of it, and you realize that. And maybe before we judge something or make a negative statement about something or just a generalization about something, we it's kind of like we should just analyze things objectively and logically, And
absolutely.
It might be. I just think that it's the reason I started a podcast. That's cool shit. People that are researching bugs to try to fix world hunger.
Yeah.
Is it going to work? We don't know, but it's just really
at
cool.
Least they're taking a stance. That they care about the world. They care about the future. And that's good. Because me, I care about the world. I care about the future that our world is headed, but I mean, I'm not going to try to figure out what bugs we can eat.
Yeah, but you're doing other things.
Kudos to the
putting
people
art
who
on
do.
people. That makes them happy.
Yeah, but it's not going to save the world.
Nah, it's not.
It's not going to end world hunger.
Nah.
But kudos to the people who do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, that's that's a good way to I guess to define that is just appreciating other people and their work, and that's with a lot of things. If people were more humble and we just took the ego out of shit, a lot of times it's like, especially when you're younger, you want to hate on people that they're doing something more than you or doing something you wish you could do, but
Right.
Such an unhealthy mindset, not just for people around you, but just you in general,
Oh, absolutely.
Because do you notice that you're more creative when you take, like, maybe you have, going through a situation like some harsh negative feelings, or you take anger out of the equation, or you take the ego out of the equation, and you just accept things for what they are. And when you take the control aspect out of it, when you're not trying to control something or fucking pigeonhole something, you can just look at it and appreciate it for what it is. And with me, I find it so much easier to be creative. Even with the podcast, the conversation will flow better, or like I can articulate my words better if my mind is just being appreciative and open, as far as, not just so judgmental and closed off. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Art is so different for everybody. People view it in different ways. Their inspirations come from different things. Me personally, I feel like it flows a little bit better for me when I have a very clear head.
Oh, okay.
When my mind is free
Yeah.
and clear and it's not cluttered with a bunch of things, then yeah, like this past month and a half that I've been doing all this remodeling and
Stressful.
stuff. Yeah, like, I've had a lot of people. I do have a lot of people that I need to get booked in. They've all left deposits for me to, get them in as soon as all the stuff's up and open. And there's been a few nights where I've gone home and I've actually tried to work on some drawings, try to get some things done so it's not like so last minute. And, get home at the end of the day and I'm sitting down with my tablet and I'm trying to get some of these designs drawn, and I can't do it.
Because your mind's so preoccupied?
My mind is so preoccupied with the studio, there's so many things.
Like everything that needs to be done instead of focusing on the moment.
Absolutely. The time that I have before I need to get the door open, how much time I have left, what I still need to do, everything, things I still need to get, things I still need to set up, it's what bills I have to pay, what deposits I have to pay. Like it was crazy. My mind was like, art was the last thing on my mind, it wasn't happening. And forcing it's no good, because
no.
Nothing good's going to come out of forcing a situation. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get is life. With all these like external stimulus, man, it's so fucking hard to focus on the things that you want to do, sometimes. And like, is there anything that you think? Because, I don't want it to sound like this is fucking therapy or whatever, but this is shit that does help me, that I've listened to, and shit that other people like to listen to. Kind of the process of how other people deal with it, and for people to know that. They're not just the only one fucking overwhelmed and struggling to concentrate on things that they like to do or enjoy doing. Is there anything that you do to try to, fuck that mindset up and clear it up a little bit?
Yeah,
smoke some weed or what?
Yeah, that's really it.
You can say whatever. It don't matter. You
I
say
really
whatever you
don't
want.
drink anymore. I quit drinking. I do smoke. That and just trying to live drama free.
Yeah.
I don't like bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm a very no bullshit kind of guy. Like I just want to get straight to the point and. It's easier for everybody that way.
Yeah.
No need to.
Some people like the drama, though, man.
Some people feed off of it.
I don't.
Some people feed off of it, and I cannot stand it. I hate it. So, and I don't want to say that's why I'm single. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why I'm single. But I don't like drama. So, it's
the petty nonsense that you're supposed to fucking. that you're supposed to put all this energy into, that you're like, I don't give a fuck about, such little shit.
Life is real simple. Like, it shouldn't be as difficult as some people make it out to be,
Life is...
it's not always easy.
Right.
But it's not supposed to be as difficult as some people make it out to be. Like,
yeah.
Like, there's people out there that are doing things that other people can't, that make excuses for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people,
and they're just not trying, so how do they know?
People in very bad, low situations that are doing things that people in better situations just are too lazy to do or don't want to do. Or, it's just funny. I see a lot of people making excuses nowadays for one thing or another, and it's like, man, just do what you gotta do. Like, it's not that hard.
It's easier to find a reason that you can't do something than actually trying to do it, and out of fear that it's not going to work out.
We were talking about that earlier.
There's
only one way you're going to know if something's going to work or not, and that's just to try it. You're never going to know if that light switch you just installed works if you don't flip the switch.
There you go. A goddamn metaphor for life. Are you going to make T-shirt on that one too?
Maybe. I could already see a little switch.
All right, man. Well, thanks so much for doing this, brother.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Let everybody know the address and some information if you want to throw anything out there, just so people can get a hold of you or how to find you.
DistINKtion Tattoo Studio, 3915 Fredericksburg Road. We are open for business. We are open from Tuesday to Saturday, 12 to 9 p.m., Sunday and Monday by appointments only. I have a phone number. I don't know it right now, so I'll have to get that to y'all on another day.
And your Instagram just at your name, right?
Yes, my Instagram. I have an Instagram, a personal Instagram. It's at Brian Foderaro.